All right. So, good evening, everybody. It is currently 10:03 p.m. It is good old Christmas Eve, but we are not here to celebrate Christmas Eve. No, sir. We are here tonight to celebrate. Yeah, something a little bit different. And I got the man here, Derek from Nitheful, also known as Mr. Unholy Cannoli on his YouTube channel. Also participant in Downtune Productions, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got this monster. We got this awesome dude here tonight after so long of having to do so many delays. But this is the Anatomy Podcast, and I am your host, Sean Cross, YouTube channel Sean Cross, respectively. In link down below, or being that this will be published, the video will be published on the channel. You're already there. You're already one step into the game. Just hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment what bands you would want to see on future podcast episodes. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the session. So, Derek, my good friend, I hope you are doing well tonight on this very, very gloomy. Like, I don't know if it was gloomy for you over in your part of town, but over here in Phoenix, Arizona, definitely gloomy. The closest thing that we've had to a white Christmas in a long time, or just, a white holiday. I guess it's the closest thing we'll ever get to snow. How was your holiday so far? How's it going?
Not bad. But here, only thing that's gonna be gloomy is the way you live, because here it's always sunny every day.
Right.
So
Yeah.
but
Sounds about
overall,
right.
not bad, just living life.
Hell yeah. And that's how we do it here. We bring awesome vibes to the channel. And I mean, hell, for those of you who know the Anatomy Podcast formula, Mr. Derek, I'm not sure if you've had the opportunity to check out our previous sessions with the likes of Worm Shepherd, Distant, David Simonich from Signs of the Swarm, or
Yep.
others. But basically, we have two halves, 2 half-hour segments, or a little bit longer to this to the podcast formula itself. So we got the first half, which basically we are looking to learn as much about you as a person as possible, how you got into music, your biggest inspirations as you were developing into music, and possibly some fun facts that not other people, like other people in the world, other people in the community, have yet to hear about you. Maybe different hobbies in the past that you were maybe thinking of before you got into music. And then, my friend, the second half of the session, we are asking the juiciest questions about Nightfall and its legacy so far. For example, how the name emerged, like where the name was decided, if there
Okay.
have been a variation of lineup changes, and we will briefly go ahead and summarize, like the back of a book, the lyrical depth behind the discography of Nightfall so far. So, as we dive very, very gently into the first half of the session, what is your name? What do you do as far, like in your creative mediums at the moment? And yeah, tell us all of the elementary level stuff that we could know about you.
All right. Well, I'm Derek Conley. I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. I, do vocals in a band called, Nitheful, of course. And overall, basically, I've been doing vocals for, I guess, about 7 years now. And kind of what got me into it was, okay, fun fact. I don't know if you know this, but me and Dickie Allen, we actually live like in the same area.
Oh
So
shit.
like, yeah, so I was like, what first got me into vocals was like before anyone heard Egg or anything like that. I heard Dickie Allen live at this place called Legends. And
Okay.
basically he did his thing with Body Snatcher. And dude, Legends is the place where Body Snatcher got big, Traders. It was basically Dickie Allen's dad's venue.
Okay.
And
Wow.
yeah, so basically I saw all these like bands just basically grow from there. And I like, it's just so fucking crazy to me that like, dude, I fucking saw Enterprise Earth before they got where they were.
Right. That's
And it was
crazy.
like they were with like King Conquer and shit when King Conquer was a band. And like, bro, that venue was fucking crazy. Like when I was first there, it used to be a church, but
How ironic.
okay, it's nothing right now. But basically, Tyler from Traders was just like, I want to see this fucking venue get ripped apart. We spray painted it just for you so you could fucking. So you see all these fucking crowd killers just literally break this fucking venue. And you
Wow.
see fucking little fucking Dickie Allen just stand on top of this dude's shoulders so that the fucking venue isn't fully fucking falling apart. So basically, bottom line, my inspiration was definitely from that venue. I've
Right.
always been into black metal, but that place, like, and you know, there was a thing called Beatdown Fest,
Yeah.
and like Existence is Fail played there. It was like just a bunch of fucking down-tuned shit. Like, it's where actually I got my fucking tooth got knocked out too. Like, I have so
Oh
many
shit.
memories of that place, and I miss it. So basically, bottom line is that you know, deathcore nowadays, you know, it's like the standard formula.
Hmm.
And I'm into like a lot of bands like Sunno, Anal Nathrock, Primitive Man, just all that evil ass shit. And I was just like, what if like there was a deathcore band that just broke away from all social norms and just was like, you don't expect what we're gonna do.
Right.
And so basically, I used to be in this band called Feast of the Antipathy.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, I was the
Sick.
vocalist.
Oh shit.
And
Okay.
we basically had this idea of wanting to create a horror kind of sound,
Yeah.
what these old down tempo bands used to do with like X King X and shit.
Yeah.
And it worked out, but unfortunately, you know, it just like, you know, other bands, it didn't come through like we wanted it to.
Right.
You know, there was like a lot of differences and member changes. Like we went through like fucking 5 guitarists, and it was just like,
Yeah.
so we just ended it because it just wasn't working out. And like overall, um my homie Nick, he is the fucking brains of this band,
Mm.
bottom line. And I really wish he was like here to interview with us. So
Right.
shout out to Nick Saya.
Shout out to Nick for sure.
Uh he basically, because I was like so frustrated that Piece of Antipathy wasn't like doing anything. So I was like, what if we created a band that was more darker than we could ever possibly be? It's
Yeah.
like, it's a mix of like the Traders shit, like so bit, and it's a mix of like everything that I like in my music. Like I have literally the constellation, the Black Widow art
Okay.
tattooed on my fucking arm because like I'm a huge Anal Nathrock fan.
Oh, okay.
But you know, in Florida, there's this thing where like you gotta constantly outflex each other.
Yeah.
It's just a thing
Right.
in the metal scene. So we were like, how the fuck do we beat Traders?
Or Infant
And so we
Annihilator.
just,
Right.
the Traders and Black Tongue and all them. So we were just like, all right, let's make the ending so fucking slow. It literally just sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we, you know, go off. And Nick writes the drums, he does the guitar. He's only been playing guitar for 2 years and he can fucking come up with all this shit. I don't know how the fuck he does it. He's a fucking madman. He actually has another band called Abhorrent Abomination,
Right.
which
Okay.
like fucking Dylan Scutta, amazing ass vocalist. I think he actually was inspired by me, funny enough. And I'm like, holy shit, someone's inspired by me. So like, you know, there's some really fucking huge gems, and basically what we're just trying to do is just say like, you know, give this, you know, satanic message, but like do it in a new way, you know, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of bands that have this like satanic outlook, or not even a satanic outlook. They just like basically wear a pentagram and, you know, have a 3D like you know, they're behind a burning church
Yeah.
and it's like green screen. They call it a day. Like for me, like I I don't know if you know, but like the EP is basically all in Satan's point of view.
Of
So
course.
basically, the start is Revolution Sunt in Paradiso. You know,
Yes.
that's a story where he basically is still Lucifer, and he's just like he's tired of, you know, God just like constantly favoring all the angels and telling him to bow down. So, you
Right.
know, basically he gets kicked out of heaven.
Yeah.
And, you know, I actually have a fucking lyric that shows that what I'm basically talking about is I'm trying to convey the point that Satan's the good guy and God's the evil tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically, I was like, at the end it was like, um Saint Michael, the night of slavery, dost cast me out, but now I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you know, Paradisium Ruination is basically kind of a continuation of Milton's Paradise Lost.
Okay.
So
Well, I
yeah.
mean, yeah, you definitely answered a whole bunch of questions in one go there, and I
I don't shut up, so
no, you're good. You're good. So to kind of review upon the first little thing we got going on, we're learning about the Florida scene. We're learning about where Traders, Body Snatcher, King Conquer, Black
Mhm.
Tongue, apparently, because I didn't know they
No,
were
Black Tongue is from the UK, but
okay.
they also have this thing called Daddy's Weekend. So sometimes they like show up in Florida here and there, and like,
Mhm.
you know, my homie Dylan Becker, he basically like knows all of them and stuff, and they like have this whole little scene, and like, funny enough, this area in Florida, and it's just like it's so crazy that like even to this day there's like bunch of fucking Florida bands that are still heavy as fuck. Like
Yeah.
In Gloom is
Pieced
fucking
up in
crazy.
gloom. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Like the Florida scene, it's
Scumfuck. Like
Scumfuck, yeah, for
fuck,
sure.
dude.
I haven't listened to the new Scumfuck just yet, but believe me, people, we're
It's
working
dope.
on that.
It's dope. A lot of people like talk shit about it, but I personally like, you know, I don't think it's bad. It's definitely a
Right,
different direction, but like I get what he's, you know, going for. The
right.
intro is sick as fuck, but like it's different. I'll
Yeah,
give you that. You know?
yeah, for sure. And the way I see it, since I personally started listening to the likes of Infant Annihilator, I've always had the question on mine, like, why aren't there any like actual live shows of this band or any regular uploads of live shows? Like you look for live shows and you don't really
Yeah.
find them. You mainly find the drum playthroughs, or I don't even think Dickie has any like vocal one take vocal playthroughs online, which, you know, not trying to call you out, Dickie, by any means, because we all love you here on the channel. I like, at the very least, me and Derek here both have very intense respect for the music you write
Yeah.
and the kind of level and standard that you took deathcore to by writing the horror music that is Infinite Annihilator. But
Yeah.
when
No, Egg is fucking beautiful, and that's like definitely what inspired Nitheful
right,
for sure.
so and you keep on saying egg, so like what is egg? Is that just like, oh wait, I'm so dumb, it's the album name, I almost forgot about that. I'm glad I remembered that last second. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm about to save myself. But all right, so egg.
What is
uh,
Egg, bro? You just get a bunch of fucking deathcore hate comments. Like, are you fucking
are
kidding
you
me?
fucking kidding me? No, but now
Yeah,
we're
dude.
now we're remembering the egg, and then there's the boy. So okay, now
Mhm.
now I'm kind of caught up. We're back on track. We're back to present tense. So yeah,
Yeah.
speaking on behalf of Scumfuck and stuff, for sure, after seeing, and being told that Infinite Annihilator was never meant to
Oh,
be.
funny enough, Feasted Antipathy's one of Feast Antipathy's show was actually with Scumfuck, and that was fucking dope as fuck.
Ooh. Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
we're definitely going to talk a little bit about Feasts of the Antipathy. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Antipathy. Yeah.
Antipathy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I always think it's like antipathy or whatever. It's like bouncy. But
Yeah, dude, so many people got the name wrong. Trust me, you're not the only one. Even I got the name wrong like a little bit at first, and I'm like,
right.
you're just like, Eric, you created the name. I'm just like, yeah, I know.
I mean, imagine like just continuing to talk about Dickie and the boys' work in Infinite Annihilator, but imagine the first time they came up with a name for their most recent album. Like, even I have issues still pronouncing Yalbath or whatever, Yalbath or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's fucking.
They're just like, it's just the
Their
boy.
names are just. It's just the boy. Like
Yeah,
they're
it's just the
fucking
boy.
trolls to 100%. It's
They're
like why,
trolls.
like I love like that's the type of like I love like dark shit, but I feel like the darkest type of shit is just the trolling shit because it's just
Yeah,
like it doesn't take itself seriously. And
exactly.
like when I see people like take themselves way too seriously, I'm just like, oh my
It's
god, just
cringe.
stop.
Yeah. Like, there's a difference between passion and thinking that, like, just like being very, very absorbed in your own world. And I know plenty of people like that. But
Mhm.
Infinite Annihilator, definitely an internet band. Took me a long time to figure that out. And then Scumfuck starts releasing recently. I'm like, oh, okay. Now they're playing live. Now Dickie's
Yeah,
going to do live. Sweet. That's really all that
yeah.
I'm expecting from Scumfuck, is seeing Dickie Allen live, which should be sick. And again, have yet to listen to The Judge in its entirety, or like literally the only thing about the new record, the new upcoming February 22nd 2022 record, People, plug, shameless plug. um Even though I'm not, affiliated with the band by all means.
Yeah.
Like, definitely plug in that shit, because that should be really cool. But
Definitely another band you should check out is Stygian Complex.
yes, dude, we've
They're fucking
homies with them, actually.
yeah, dude. They're
we've
good
we've
as
uh
fuck.
we've tried to get them on the podcast a couple times, and shout out to Kyler, because me and him, very similar to me and you, have been bouncing back and forth trying to figure out a good session time to dig under the skin for Born to Burn,
Yeah.
their most recent EP. We're going to be doing a session for that here pretty soon. And for this podcast, actually, they were meant to be, for those who didn't know, they were actually meant to be the second episode out of 12 now. So instead of Worm Shepherd, or no, it ended up being Greg, our homie Greg Gilbert from No Existence. But um,
Dope.
they were supposed to be the second episode, and the editor at the time, he messed up an hour session and managed to compact it to 2 minutes. So I had to just toss the session and be like, okay, we'll have to just try that another time, I guess. Dig under the skin of one of your records. Like, well, shout out to the homies for sure, because the Stygian Complex are really good people. Kyler's always been really
Oh yeah,
understanding and
dude.
patient.
Kyler's a fucking sweetheart. Like
Such an awesome dude.
I yeah, such a chill dude. And like when we like met each other, we were just like, oh no, it was like my vocals suck. And I was just like, no, my vocals suck compared to you. It's just like it's fucking
Right?
hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, both of you
Like
are absolutely god to your vocalists. Like, I don't think there's another vocalist in the scene I can compare to Dickie Allen. Like, Will Ramos is pretty good, but you, my friend, you are the closest to like a carbon copy of Dickie Allen I think there will ever
yeah,
be.
and like funny enough, um, so you know how basically Dickie and I live in the same area.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, fuck, how do I like I was literally like trying to think like how do I differ myself from him? And this is like when I was first starting vocals and shit.
Right.
So I did basically my research on shit. And I was like, I was watching The Conjuring 2, Bill
Right.
Wilkins. And I was like, what if there's a fucking possible way to have your vocals with the tunnel throat and literally sound like these possessed horror like characters, just so like you literally people will understand what you're saying, but it also will sound like you're possessed, and that there's like, so basically I watched Reagan from The Exorcist, you know, Conjuring 2, and then like when I saw it, I basically, he, you know how he like twitches his head and shit. So basically I did this like crazy like idea where like, where I got this like, because I was like kind of learning how to do fast vocals up, and so I was like, what if I basically move my tongue like as how he like, you know, he chases that. I was like, what if I did something like, and that's like basically I came up with that from like watching it. And so basically all my vocal styles are like different horror characters to create this giant like vocal techniques that I've learned. Yeah, like the Reagan from The Exorcist, like the your mother sucks cocks in hell. You know, like
that's where you start, man. That's where you start.
Or you know, Valak, where it's like so it's like it's like I do more shit that's like phlegm based and like risky for the voice. It's like why I can't be a voice teacher, because I'm gonna fucking teach it super wrong. Because there's so much shit that I do vocally that I just, even I'm just kind of like, I don't even fucking know anymore, dude. Like I don't even know all my techniques. Like I just do them. Okay.
Basically, you just interpret and do voice impressions of the most infamous monsters and just horror characters, horror movie characters. And that's where you should start, really. I mean, after all, kind of recycling that good old Florida heavy music scene. The likes of Tyler and Dickie, they both were saying that if it wasn't for them being vocalists, they actually wanted to be voice actors and do voice acting for animals like D. Bradley Baker, which I can still see that happening. Like they would be pretty fucking good at it.
Yeah, bro. Like, and I saw like something about like Linda Blair having to like do all this extra shit. Like she's apparently she smoked like 5 packs of cigarettes a day and just to try to get that voice. And it's just like you really, to get that voice, like you don't even need to do that. It's like it's pretty hilarious. Like what I love about deathcore nowadays is that we literally beat like machines. Like human voices have beaten like technology. Like that is insane as fuck to me. Like
like we don't need machines and like recorded animal sounds anymore.
Like it sounds cool when it's pitch shifted, but like it's like you can still do that with your voice, which is like fucking crazy to me. It's like can you imagine just what if back in time we had all like learned all these noises and shit and just like we completely forgot how to use them? It's just like holy fuck, bro.
I mean, even techniques like throat singing, that's what I was trying to say. Shit like that, like boo, like that shit's super easy to me, and I maybe learned that in like 5 or 10 minutes. But all of these techniques and all these sounds that we've learned over time, bird noises and animal noises,
I haven't heard like one vocalist do the shake shit, like so like I want to see someone attempt that, just to be like, I see where you got that from. Like it's fun. Like I guess people don't do it because it's too much, but with my band I'm just like fuck it. Like,
well, I got 2 words for you people: method acting, method vocalizations.
That's basically what it is.
Like if you want to really get into your art these days, you got to get to our good friend Derek's level or Tyler Trader's level, or Tyler Trader's, goddamn it, Tyler Shelton's level or Dickie Allen's level. Like, dude, metal vocalists are the future of voice acting, guaranteed. And we are gonna be probably collaborating with major places like Lucasfilm or whatever, DreamWorks, Nickelodeon. We're gonna bring
One
the
day.
heat. One day we're gonna bring the heat, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, who is this dude who's making like the like who the fuck is that?" And then look up their profile. Oh, it's Sean Cross or whatever. Wasn't he in like one of the Transformers movies? Wait, he's also a
The
Deathcore
guy,
vocalist? Like, what?
funny enough, the guy who played Bender from Futurama, I actually heard him do a tunnel throat, and I was like, holy shit.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was like, what?
And that's why I'm saying, people like behind the scenes voice acting, like half these people over there could easily be metal vocalists, and half of metal vocalists could easily be voice acting. And therefore, you
Yeah.
don't even have to solely rely on music to make money. You can be in a freaking cartoon as just like a freaking elephant, ogre, monster, whatever the fuck you want to do, whatever the
Yeah.
job is. And as soon as
There's
you're done with
another
that,
thing. Oh, my
there you
bad.
go. No, you're good.
Uh,
You're good.
there's another thing I also wanted to talk about.
Yes.
What I kind of recently just started was, Mr. Unholy Cannoli.
Right.
So I basically just started that because I was just tired of like metal vocals always being seen as kind of a joke.
Right.
Like,
Right.
on TikTok, it's like we see these fucking vocalists just use it as just like, can I get a hug? Yeah, it's like it's cool, it's cool, but I really think it was out. So I was just like, this is such a waste of potential. Like, and I was like, and then I just kind of like I saw, what, Corpse Husband and like Chills, was doing, and like I was like,
I thought
what if
so.
there was like a just fucking new wave of like horror
Narrators.
narration?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just like something so unique and just adds this scarier feeling to it. So
Yeah.
basically, I was gonna start it as like vocal horror readings, where I was gonna like try to bring on different vocalists and stuff. But that didn't go through because, unfortunately, most vocalists are just like, that won't ever work out. So I kind of just like was like, all right, this is just gonna be my own thing. So I just kind of just made it Mr. Unholy Cannoli because my last name's Connolly. And funny enough, I got this whole idea from this guy at a bar like 4 years ago. He was talking to me drunk and like, saw one of my shows and shit with my local band, one of my local bands that I'm not gonna bring up.
Right.
But he basically was like, you're like a holy cannoli, except you're like satanic and shit. So you're like unholy cannoli.
Yeah.
Like, because he kept calling my last name. He's like, oh, you're Derek Cannoli. I'm like, it's Connolly, but close.
Tomato. There you go, fam.
And he kept just saying that. He was just drinking his ass off.
Mr. Cannoli.
Just like you're like, instead of a holy cannoli, you're like an unholy cannoli. So thank Mr. whoever the fuck drunk guy was for my YouTube channel. So
shout out to one random fucking drunken guy over in Florida. Let's go. Let's go.
You did that, dude.
Florida man coming in hot.
Straight up, bro. This fucking Florida man shit. There's a lot of Florida man here.
But no, for real, like Mr. Unholy Cannoli as a YouTube channel, very, very interesting concept behind it. And for people who watch Chills, who watch Nuke's Top 5, who watch Mr. Creepypasta or any of those dudes, I, for one, think that's a really fresh idea. I definitely promote it, endorse it. The link will be down below. People, be sure to go check that out. Because like this dude's saying, he's not wrong. Like the product he's promoting is everything he's saying it is. So be sure to go check it out. But yeah, for sure. Mr. Unholy Cannoli. Like you started that when earlier this year or last year?
Yeah, early this year, and like, cause I don't know, there's this thing where I also just, when there's so many vocalists out there who do the nowadays, especially like with Will Ramos and shit. And I was just kind of like, I don't want to just have where I tell people what I do on the side is just a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
And I originally was just like, because I was trying to just figure it out, like, what could I do on the side? Like, like there's people who are tattoo artists, piercers. I was just trying to figure that out. Then it just fucking hit me one day, and I was just like, I do so much with my voice. Why has, no one else done this? And overall, I am fucking happy as fuck I figured it out, and I'm kind of just mad at myself for not figuring it out sooner.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I
Because
mean,
like the creepypasta community, there's like nothing, like it's kind of dead right now, and it's just like, in the horror narrate, like there's like one horror narrator. Well, this dude's more or less a horror narrator. His name's David Neer, and
okay.
he does voice impressions and shit. So I don't only post like voice impression, like narrations. I post voice impressions too, because I was really inspired by David Neer, like doing all this creepy shit, and honestly it helped my vocals a lot more, because
Right.
like I could do this shit with like intros, like it's fucking like phenomenal, and like he's really good, and like, overall, like I think honestly in a weird way it kind of makes my band like, oh, like that's the band with the horror narrator. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
that sounds fucking cool as fuck to
Right.
me,
No, that's definitely a good marketing approach. And not that I'm at all educated in business or marketing, but that is what I'm planning to do. I got the brain
Yeah.
for it when I continue my education, whenever I do. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from someone who's always trying to be like, have that entrepreneur mindset, always trying to have fresh ideas, a band with a a horror narrator as the vocalist, with his own separate secondary YouTube channel, Mr. Unholy Cannoli, and that channel basically being a creepy narration. And possibly in the future, I think people would love this. And this is something
Well,
that
I
I would
post
pitch.
covers and stuff too, but
Covers.
yeah, like it's basically everything. Like, it used to be just a separate YouTube channel, but now like it's just my main YouTube channel, because
Oh, right. Okay.
because it's easier for people to find, and like, you know I wanted to do the whole like, ooh, who's Mr. Unholy Cannoli, but I mean, people already know who I am, so it's just like, all right.
Right. Well, I mean, okay. Definitely with that information on mind, Mr. Unholy Cannoli being your primary
Yes.
I'm trying to think of the word, platform. There you go. Jesus.
Yeah.
Primary platform for all your creative mediums that happen to not be Nitheful. That's basically what I'm doing right now with Sean Cross. Is just, I'm having all my reactions, but I'm also wanting to do the Anatomy podcast, Under the Skin, vocal covers, and
Yeah.
eventually original content. That's the plan. So definitely good to
Yeah.
have a
Cause like,
primary channel and platform for all of your stuff that isn't the official band. Definitely a good idea.
yeah, like, cause it's so hard. I'm gonna say it, like, it's hard as fuck to make it as a musician, just as a musician nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have like any side, thing, you're kind of like I'm not gonna say screwed, like, because some people do get lucky, but like it's a fucking tough market, and like
Yeah.
I
And the
realized that for myself, and it's just like, instead of like complaining constantly, like, oh, why am I not making it? I was just like, because you see these like other vocalists, like, oh, I want to do monster noises. I'm just like, why not just do it? Like,
yeah.
just get a fucking horror ambient track and then just like become a creature. Like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fun to do, and it could potentially make me money in the future
Depending on
without
what happens.
without having to like rely on my band as the making me money,
Exactly.
because like
Yeah.
that's the thing, like if you like go into music making money, like you're doing it wrong,
Mm-hmm. You're doing
because
something wrong if you're just right off the bat making money.
mm-hmm.
Unless if you, I don't know, happen to be Will Ramos, who went from Awakened Providence to Lorna Shore and is now probably
Yeah,
making plenty of dough. But even then, that's not going from nothing to a band and getting lucky. That's going from
and even
band to
that's
band to band.
that's the thing though, like Lorna Shore already had like they
So
already
much
had
foundation.
a foundation with 3 different vocalists, like well,
Yeah.
2, and it's just like, you know, one joined Chelsea Grim, one, was a fuck boy and just kind of just did whatever the fuck he wanted. And,
Not shout out
honestly,
to the
like,
man.
like, and like, honestly, it's just like, you know, I personally think the whole situation's weird as fuck, but not gonna get into that.
No, we don't do that.
But Will Ramos is he's fucking fantastic and shit, and
And
like,
he's got plenty of energy in him too, so he'll be able to do
yeah,
this
no,
for a long time.
funny enough, my first ever guest spot was on this thing called Vexatatious,
Okay.
and it's with Will Ramos on it.
Okay. And
So
is this a podcast or?
no, like feature, like my first ever guest feature on a song.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And while we're kind of just zooming through all of this
that was like
chaotic
6 years
commentary.
ago or
That was
some
6 years
shit.
ago.
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
cool.
so it's so fucking crazy how we both are just crazy vocalists.
Yeah. Yeah, like you
And
guys
from
have
this
come
one,
so far.
yeah, no, like I would definitely like love to get him on a song or something again, like just to like, because he does, you know, before he got all big, he does like know me and shit. It's just like,
Yeah.
you
Now
know,
he's getting so busy and like I'm sure his inbox is blowing the fuck up right now.
yeah.
I know I'm one of those people that emailed him just as To the Hellfire came out, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to jump on the podcast or dig under the skin of?" And I returned to nothingness. But the thing is, there was already a couple articles talking about the lyrical depth
Oh yeah.
behind the three
No,
people. So,
they're doing really good, and
yeah,
I'm fucking tired of the whole hatred towards it, because it's not like, yeah, they're playing with Bring Me the Horizon, but dude, they're not selling out.
they're not.
They're not being a fucking like band that's like, oh, we're just gonna go cleans now and shit. No,
No,
this could potentially like possibly get my band,
yeah,
my evil as fuck anti-theist satanic band,
mhm,
with playing fucking with Bring Me the Horizon,
exactly,
The Day to Remember. Like
dude. So
I support that, dude. Like
seriously,
like I don't think that's bad, because it's just like it why should it be bad? You're giving these new kids this crazy type of music,
opportunity.
and
Yeah.
instead of them just wanting to like just try to look, twerk on TikTok, maybe they'll like want to start vocals and shit, like,
You want to start getting into the goblin techniques. Like that'd be so
yeah,
fucking
just
cool
to
if we
like
had more
just,
goblins in the world.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
no.
No, like
Just be
okay.
fucking
So I definitely want to make a statement right here and now, and this will probably be the boldest statement that I'll make, but like no fire will come to the stage per se. Um, Opportunities like Lorna Shore being able to open up for Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, shit, To the Hellfire is the top rock song of this year. So I just have one thing to say. To all the people who had an issue with that happening with one of the coolest black metal, newer black and deathcore bands coming into the scene and opening up for an absolute legend at a pretty big festival. like just understand that the gatekeeping is really just it's not necessary.
It's
Counterculture,
disrespectful.
that too, it's fucking disrespectful because it's taken us so long to get to a tolerable point of, pardon me, of being able to promote our content on this level, promote our art on this level. And I mean, the way I see it too, it seems that, with great positivity, of course, we are descending into a very, very dark world, a very dark time where everybody's finally waking the fuck up and realizing that the people in charge, per se, are not on our side. I mean, they never were, but
Nope.
we're descending into darker times. And what do you need to kind of help parallel that current timeline? Well, you probably need some darker music. You need some more realistic music that kind of helps you promote the mindset of rebelling against something, rebelling against a tyrant. For Nitheful here, just for the sake of promoting the content and the musicians, the collaborators on the episode, Nitheful is against the tyrant that is God in their view. And I don't know, man. Like, for one, fuck anybody who had an issue with Lorna Shore opening up for Bring Me the Horizon next year. Like, that is absolutely monumental. But also, like, we're
just
descending.
to piss off the metal elitists, I'm a huge MCR fan, so
hell yeah. That's where it comes from, people. Like, we all came from a spot similar to that at one point. I'm sure there are people in various deathcore bands around the world who were fans of Blood of the Dance Floor at one point. We all make mistakes. It's okay. But like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. There's
It's
a certain
pathetic.
mindset.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
It's
like,
immature.
especially like with the death metal elitists who hate on deathcore. I'm just like,
fuck off.
okay.
Half of you are probably 45 to 60.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Then we don't want to hear you whining. Go to your group homes, please, and thank you. And that's where I personally
go hug in your push pit.
push. Love that one. But yeah, that was the most heated TED Talk provided by Sean Cross and Mr. Unholy. But back to our regularly scheduled program. To say the least, we have here a pretty awesome project to look forward to with Nitheful and all of the content on Mr. Unholy Cannoli. You guys have a song coming out tomorrow. What can you guys tell me?
It is getting delayed, unfortunately.
Okay.
But it's gonna be worth it.
Right.
Because we just bought a Kemper, which is basically what Bound in Fear uses.
Oh shit. Okay.
So our sound is it's gonna be no one's fucking ready.
All right, cool.
But yeah, our sound is gonna be insane, and we just take it always to a next level. Like, me and Nick, we're both fucking psychopaths. So basically, we write how our emotions are. Like, I write with my lyrics when I just have such an utter just dislike for like Christianity, but I do it in a way where like the next album is basically going to be God's point of view.
Okay.
So the whole time, it's going to talk about all this fucked up shit, but it's going to have like all the biblical references.
Yeah.
Have, like the next song is basically going to be about God killing his own son and just loving it and loving how we are all his slaves. And it's just, like, I'm basically kind of going for this way that's like that. Basically, I don't think any band has really touched, maybe besides Infinite Annihilator, but I'm going for more like full on biblical. Like, I'm going to talk about the flood, talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, Jephthah. Like, I've read the Bible because, funny enough, like it was because my mom, like my parents always were like, you're evil, your beliefs are evil. So I was like, all right. I was like, give me a Bible. If there's anything I disagree with, I'm highlighting it, and you're gonna fucking tell me why this is in here. So I did that, like read the Bible,
This man went through
you
it.
know, and I saw fucking verses like, slaves, obey your masters, serve them as you would serve Christ, or thee shall put thy daughters and stone them to death, or like, and I watched a lot of Dark Matter 2525, so like I've seen like this fucking God is literally the biggest piece of shit ever, and I'm just like, I literally am seeing these verses in this book that talks about stoning babies to death, and then the Christians are just like, oh, that's the Old Testament, you got to read the New Testament.
Right. So
And like,
the
it's
kind
so
of
frustrating.
right, no, for sure. And do you remember which version of the Bible this was by chance? Because like there are so many fucking interpretations now, and the King James version is
Think the
probably the
King
worst.
James, but overall, like the concepts are all like the fucking same.
Similar.
Like,
Yeah.
but even if without the verses, God is omnipotent, omnipresent, always there,
Yeah.
but yet his solution is a flood and to fucking kill everyone on earth besides one guy because he sucks him off the most. Or funny enough, our last single, not This Is Halloween,
Right.
Prep Team Arborvice.
Okay.
This song is basically about this dude, David, who goes to this fucking kingdom or whatever and he's like, yo, King Saul, I want to bang one of your daughters. What do I need to do? And King Saul's just like, go kill a bunch of Philistines and bring me their foreskins. So
Oh,
basically,
right.
David brings a fucking, like, what, 200 foreskins, chops off their dicks, and then King Saul's happy and he's like, yay, you could bang my daughters.
See, I remember you posting about that too on the primary Nitheful Instagram, right? And not only
Yeah.
that, but you had the legitimate scriptures in there. And I remember reading that. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, this is in the
Yeah,
Bible?
I've done my research, and
Right.
it literally, the more I research it, it just makes me more mad. The fact that this shit is still socially acceptable. Like the fact that for me, not liking impending doom for literally having the word satanic in their fucking title,
Right.
basically
Right.
talking about punching Satanists in the face. Yeah, I'm bad for fucking disagreeing with it. Like,
Right.
fuck you, you know?
Yeah. And I did not know that was the context of that satanic panic song. But in that
That's
case,
basically what it's about. It's like 666 don't like, or I forgot the lyrics, but they're so stupid, dude. Like,
you'll definitely have to send me the lyrics. Like,
or like
you
like
know what? You know what? I'm gonna do this live. Fuck it. So I'm gonna look up the lyrics for this song, and we're gonna call this shit out right now. Because
all
by
right.
all means, I don't fucking care how big impending doom is on this channel. At least I am by no means Christian. I think it is an absolute,
Ave Satanas.
yeah, basically like fucking it, dude. Western monotheism, right? So that's kind of what I generalize it to, because you got
Mm-hmm.
Catholicism, you got Mormonism, which that's like the fucking Jesus cult of them all.
Just fucking did pedal with it.
but but
Yeah,
like
I'm
seriously, dude.
more, I don't know if you like knew, but I'm more like the LaVeyan approach.
No, we talked about this before actually.
Yeah.
I was like, are you theotic or are you LaVeyan? You're like,
No,
nah, dude, I'm the
I'm
Anton
strictly
LaVey.
LaVeyan. Like,
Right.
you know,
All right.
the I think it's stupid that like another thing I think that's stupid. I don't know if you know about this, but like unfortunately, the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple like are just butting heads against each other. I'm just kind of like, I agree with the Satanic Temple, but I also have LaVeyan like principles, and
Yeah.
they're just like, you can't do that. It's so fucking stupid. Like, I don't get
Really?
it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I know it's like less a thing now, but like, I don't know. It's just, I personally am for LaVey. I just don't like what the Church of Satan has become some more with
Oh
the
shit.
Satanic Temple.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay. Well, I'm probably more the Satanic Temple guy too, because like I'm primarily Osseter, right? So like Viking gods and shit. But the thing
yeah,
is, at the end of the day, I have a very, very strict principle of not burdening other people with my opinions. And that's kind
yeah,
of basic LaVeyan Satanism right there.
yeah.
But
And bro, what I love about like LaVeyan Satanism is just that it just does not take itself
too
seriously,
seriously.
which I think, yeah, like I think like LaVey used to be like a lion tamer, and he just basically just started that belief, and he was honest about it. He's like, yeah, this is basically Ayn Rand with, ritual. And like, I fucking respect him for like being honest about that, because like he's not this giant cult leader. He's
Yeah.
just a guy, and he fucking admitted that. And
Right.
reading the Satanic Bible and everything, like, I think my favorite thing, like, is just the fact that the number one sin in Satanism is stupidity. So literally anyone who disagrees with you is fucking stupid and is sin
Right.
against Satanism.
Right.
It's
So I
like,
have I have the lyrics right here. So among
okay.
others, we live in a world 666, sadistic, narcissistic to the fullest, preying on the innocent, demon in a suit, devil in a dress, there will be violence. Satanic panic, the noose gets a little tighter. Satanic panic, every day gets a little closer. Satanic panic, the noose gets a little tighter. Satanic panic, every day gets a little closer. You will feel the wrath of God when we watch the noose drop. So, um, without context and stuff, and like just generally speaking, it does like I definitely do not want to be the person to be like, oh, they're like proclaiming violence against Satanists. But I mean, after all, you said it is a Christian deathcore band, which
Well,
I
that's
will
not
listen.
like, dude, look up the serpent's tongue. That's the one that's literally just like
The serpent's
violence
tongue.
against Satanists and
Okay.
shit. Like,
The
I was just
serpent's
like,
tongue.
really, like, you know,
Okay. Covered. Oh, okay. Yeah. Covered in goat's piss. Paint your face like a corpse and smell like rotting pigs. This is just stupid. L. Someone spelled it wrong. It's L instead of I. L am a Christian, a faithful man of God. Come at thee. Come at me. You will pay for glorifying evil. You want to burn a church. Blah, blah, blah. You want to burn a church and rip a Bible. Black metal revival. God loves you. Black
mhm.
metal revival. Jesus died for you. Black metal revival. I don't think that's how black metal works, fam, but that's just me. Listen to me, you better old men. You will die and regret the words you said. Satan was a musician and gave you the serpent's tongue, but the devil hates you because you're made in the image of God's holy son. Not really though. Like I might look
God,
a
it
little
sounds
like
like all the
Jesus, but
hate comments I get. Shit.
uh, yeah.
Like, yeah, I love how he's calling us bitter old men while he's like, he literally sounds like a 80-year-old
Right,
just
better
talking
old
weird.
man. Satan, Satan be
You will
free.
regret that, sure.
You but no, I mean, calling out that briefly, fuck that, because basically
Mm-hmm.
LaVeyan Satanists are the most neutral beings probably on this planet.
Yeah.
Theotic Satanist people, just in case if you are not educated, that's why we're using a four, a four syllable. We're using a four syllable word right there, but um no, like we are actually the most neutral people on the planet, but we hate the hypocrisy and the fucking
Yeah.
how much the Bible contradicts itself as far as representing a peaceful being. That and basically
Mm-hmm.
I'm neutral as fuck, but I'm also like a man who doesn't think that just one dude created everything in the known universe. And I mean, that's just me. But For sure. Fuck Western monotheism. And I mean, I have so many friends of mine who actually actively participate in that. And no offense to you. I love you guys so much. You know who you are. But there is so much fucking lies and just contradictory. I mean, dude, the Crusades are an actual
Yeah,
byproduct of
that's
monotheism.
gonna be the first song on the
New
album.
album. Just fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
dude.
gonna be about the Crusades and just like how basically, they talked, like I talked about how they want to please this king, like the
Yeah.
Pope and shit. And basically, like, I used one lyric called Burn the History That Remains Forever, talking about how they just got rid of the old gods and shit,
Yeah.
and that Christianity is gonna like
Reign
rise. Like,
supreme. Like,
it's this
fuck
album's
that.
definitely gonna confuse a lot of people because they're gonna be like, wait, is they're using biblical references, yet this dude's a Satanist. And it's just like, yeah,
Well, if anything, people,
God.
that's why you'll come into this session. I will make sure to post it in the comments every time in the future once this album is closer to being released out into the world. Like, we'll go ahead and have this session ready for you guys. That way you're like, where the fuck is he talking about God? He's a Satanist. Like, no, there's a little bit more to it.
Yeah, no,
Fucking check out the
it,
session.
it it's to show that, like, overall the message is that, like, for me, Satan is the hero who stood up to tyranny. And like,
Yeah, the hero of
we
the
have,
story.
yeah, the hero of the story. And like, basically, I have kind of a concept, like, at what's going to happen after he like kills God. And I was thinking, like, going in like different directions for it. And
That can definitely be
that,
the
I think after the God album is going to be like this fucking horror, just full on exorcist album. And that shit is going to be the scariest shit people are ever going to hear.
Okay. So after this
Yeah.
next basically God perspective record, we're gonna be seeing a theory of what happens after God was taken down. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. So it's like,
And
so
that's
basically, like, the God album's like a prequel to Paradisium. So
oh really?
yeah. So it's like,
Okay.
it talks about, you know, all the biblical shit. And like, I'm basically trying to convey, instead of, what these other bands do, like, oh, look, we're edgy, burn churches, like, I'm trying to like actually convey why this shit is bad. Like,
Yeah.
this is the enemy. This is not someone you want to fucking worship. Like, instead
Yeah,
of
for
just
real.
like, look at me, hail
Burning the
Satan,
churches.
edgy, like,
Yeah, it's so also one thing I want to say on this episode, because like this definitely feels like a different session, and I love the way that this is going so far. Just a little
yeah,
bit more, it's a little less structured than once before, where I ask questions and then you like answer with a 20-minute answer or something. I like the way this is going. So
yeah.
hands down, loving the chaos. We're gonna be doing it like this from now on, people. Hope you enjoy. But speaking from the perspective of someone who's planning to contribute to the scene, to the story that is black metal, that is black and deathcore, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't mind. I don't care. Just understand that at least personally for me, I regret where black metal came from, black and deathcore came from, specifically with Burzum and Mayhem, and them actually killing people and burning churches to the ground. Like,
Yeah.
I agree with the idea, but like once you start actually killing people, it's like we're not supposed to do
It
that.
was it was the 80s.
Yeah,
Like,
it was the
there was
80s.
no internet. Like,
It was an
that's just how
unhinged
shit
world.
was.
Yeah,
Like,
it was an unhinged, and it was also in a very, very far away land from the United States, where I'm sure the laws were different there, and just like the moral
mm,
code was different there. So they're like, yo, it'd be edgy if we actually brought a decapitated fucking pig's head to a show. Like, that was edgy back then. I cannot believe that actually happened. That and the first album cover. like that still
Yeah.
blows my mind. A couple years after seeing the Lords of Chaos docu film or whatever,
Yeah,
like some of
no,
it in that movie was false for sure. Like I could tell where it was false, but I do know for sure that the first album cover was indeed a legitimate crime scene, and I'm like,
mhm.
maybe don't do that again, please. Like, I can't. I don't know. For me personally, it's like
Yeah,
it's disrespectful, even if at the time, and obviously that's what you just said. It was a different time, but hands
yeah.
down, please nobody in the scene do that again, because that's for one disgusting, for two that's dark web shit, and for three, no one wants to see a fucking corpse on your album cover. That's just me though. That's me speaking from my own opinion. Please don't do that because it's depressing, it's gross, and I'm not into it. Me personally though.
I mean, we won't promise anything. You never know where we're gonna go.
Yeah, for real. You open up Pandora's box and all seven of
Yeah,
the
Nitheful just literally is, like even I'm just like, where the fuck is this band gonna go?
I can
Like
definitely
in a
see.
good way. In a
Yeah,
good
for
way.
sure. And with
Like,
Nithful too, just the impression you've given me so far, me personally, I think it'd be really cool to see a complex narrative of how the entire world ends up after God is killed, and the lords of hell, the kings of hell, are left to pick up the mess.
yeah.
You basically were just saying the God album is meant to be a prequel to the recent EP. So
Mm-hmm.
after Paradisum, I'm really wondering, like, if we're going to get a positive perception of like what the kings of hell end up doing to the earth and even the cosmos, because bands like Worm Shepherd, Devin has told me on the podcast before that they're planning to explore galaxies, and it's supposed to utilize the Luciferian spiritual pantheon, so personifying and giving being and authority to all the kings and dukes and lords of hell, and among other
That's pretty
things.
cool.
No, it's fucking awesome, right? Like it sounds so cool.
Yeah.
And among other things, I think after ritual hymns, he said they're already done with the third album, which I'm like, wait, what the fuck? But
Yeah, what the fuck, Devin? Fuck you.
like he's ahead of the curve, man. He's got shit ready, but I think he's
Yeah,
headed
no,
upstairs for a long
he's a
time.
fucking homie. Like, holy
Definitely,
fuck,
homie.
bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did not think we'd like get him on This Is Halloween, but he was like, yeah, no, it sounds Halloween. That sounds sick as fuck. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and so awesome to know that I've had all three of the vocalists who are on that song now on this podcast, because I've even had Ian Horror or
Ian's
Ian. Yeah, oh my
such a
god,
homie, dude.
such an
Such a
awesome
homie.
dude. And we have yet
Yeah.
to record a session for Recoil and Horror's debut record, Malgamum, I think it's called Malgum.
Yeah.
Please forgive me, Ian. It's been a little bit, but yeah, kind of going back a little bit before we wrap things up for tonight. And by all means, Mr. Derek, thank you for deciding to stop by and provide the time,
No
because
problem.
I have been wanting to have you on the podcast forever now. So it's an honor to have you on board. But Warm Shepherd,
Yeah,
man,
I'll
like shit.
yeah, do you hear that new song? It's fucking good as fuck.
No, I have not, because I was gonna do a
God.
corpse paint reaction, and then my fucking technology was messing up, and the cream makeup was just like melting down my face. I'm like, oh, I can't do this tonight, and
All right.
we'll just have to save it for another time.
Patreon, this guy
Patreon.
right here.
For sure.
But yeah, to answer your question about um what would Satan do? I think personally, like I'm still gonna include the Dukes of Hell stuff, but I'm also gonna
Yeah.
include like a more the conjuring kind of aspect where basically like yes, I'm seeing like Satan as the good guy, but I'm also like he's
He's also an
pissed as
animal.
fuck.
Yeah.
He's pissed as fuck at like the fact that he's been stuck in hell and everyone's just been talking shit about him. Wow, there's so much awful shit going on. So I think honestly, I'm doing something way different where basically I'm taking this full on nihilistic approach that Satan's so pissed at God that he's gonna like literally have all the demons of hell come out and torture, like all like the Christians and shit. I'm gonna include the crooked man in there, Valak. I'm gonna include like Astaroth. I'm gonna include all the like it's gonna be just the
The
most
full pantheon.
crazy album. But what Satan's final solution is that he ends all afterlives, all life, including himself.
Ooh.
Because he says creation was a mistake. We should have never been
Ooh.
born. And
That's
that's it.
crazy. Okay. Fuck. Wow.
Yeah.
See, you had me going there. I thought we were gonna see like shit. Mike, I pressed the wrong button on my mic. I thought we were gonna see Satan and the Dukes and Lords of Hell, not exactly like save the world and bring like some type of peace to it, but
I don't know. I'm a nihilist too, so I'm just kind of like, I feel like,
fuck everybody.
Yeah, like what would Satan do? Like knowing that he's been just always been shit talked and like always just on the bottom, and seeing all the fucked up shit God has done to make them slaves. Instead, he's just like, no, nobody gets it, and just ends everything. Like everything, including himself, all the demons, and it basically is gonna like have this like reaper. Like I was thinking like the end would just look like this reaper's just
silhouette,
sucking like a giant black hole behind him, and he just like everything just dies. I'm a fucked up person.
No, I mean the right things in life can do that to people. I mean, I know my buddy, my roommate, no names disclosed because we don't do that here. He is very nihilistic himself. He's like, I really wish that society would just fucking collapse and we would go back to the Stone Age. We would go back to bartering, which is a lot less than creation was a mistake, but like nonetheless.
Because overall, like he is still technically being a hero, but he's like just like,
in a very non-satisfying way to what most people think a hero would be. It's like, oh, you're gonna save everybody, right? He's like, well, yeah, but nobody's gonna exist afterwards. Like
no, like I feel like, because I was just like, what else could he do? It's like, is he just gonna do just because I didn't want him to like just become God, because like I'm trying to like convey that he is still like this rebel.
He's a godless being.
Yeah, like he's just like, no, I'm God. And because Satanism is a very selfish belief, and I feel like that's honestly the most LaVeyan approach, because it shows that nothing happens after, and like that's what I'm trying to convey, is that
true.
To me, that's honestly more satanic, because it's just like the darkest things in life are not demons.
Like nobody gets it. Nobody gets an afterlife. That
not the shadows. It's nothingness.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's the void.
Yeah,
deprived of neurons, deprived of being. Maybe like, and I mean, personally, for me to answer your question, even those basically rhetorical, if I was the devil, I would just, or if I was Satan per se, I would just restart the universe, Big Bang, just like all over again, see what happens.
Yeah, and that could happen too. I didn't think of that.
Because like the thing is, the Big Bang, he does that, and then I don't know, perhaps if you want to go that far, narratively speaking, like what's next after the Big Bang? Like, is it a different, better species, or is the story over for that? And then you kind of dig into the
it's digging into like some crazy shit. It's like
definitely some head scratchers. Like I remember, I think the most woke thing I wanted to write was a song called "What If We Smoked God's Ashes in a Bong," and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
oh yeah, that's sick as fuck.
Like definitely of one that scratches the brain, and it probably goes even beyond the mindset of beings beyond our understanding, unless if they happen to be God, and aliens are the closest thing to God, and then they're fucking good for you. Got that brain DLC, boy. But like no, like there's the Big Bang, and then I would think that if anything, there would be other kings, dukes, and lords of hell who are just like, but we don't want existence to end. And then there's a civil war in hell. And
That would be cool.
that could be something you could
That's a good
incorporate.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're arguing with Satan that like no, like
Like we at
we
least
can
want to exist and we just want to butcher all these Christians and start the
yeah,
world over again in human bodies, and no one will ever know, like fucking the Gaia app telling us that there are aliens
yeah,
living among us. I would do that personally, but obviously I'm not the mastermind behind Nitheful. So I'm not
yeah.
gonna be
I
like,
don't
oh, you
know.
should do
That's
that.
definitely an approach too. Like that's what I love about this story. There's so much I could do with it. Like
Right. It's a big
it's
story.
never ending possibilities. Like,
Mhm.
it's not in because like one of my like I don't like having writer's block.
Me
So
too.
like
I
because I'm
feel
an
that.
overthinker.
Me
So
too.
that's why like all this shit just is like it's just like, oh,
Very stimulating.
because I don't like the whole I don't like to write about the whole personal shit. Like, I'm so fucking angry. Fuck you. Like I think it's so fucking
Yeah.
annoying.
I mean, yeah, but definitely as a fellow lyrical writer, it's cool to get personal, and I love when lyricists like Caleb Shomo, for example, are like just outing themselves and putting it on paper. But it's also cool to see people either be inspired by stories and narratives or create their own from scratch and have that be music. Like that's
Mhm.
really cool to see put together. Brand of Sacrifice would probably be my favorite, getting inspiration from already existing art. Like watching Berserk, man, that was very, very eye-opening because I hadn't seen anything like it that was so charming but also so fucking cruel.
Yeah.
And then the 2016 and 2017 seasons, they were even more fucked up. Like they basically ride the dick of the theory you're going with, which it's like God and his fucking cronies are all sadistic fucks and they all deserve to burn. But yet no one has the balls or the ability or the authority to do so until Guts comes along. Spoiler alert, sorry people, but it's a fucked up show, so you can skip it with ease. That way you don't have the you don't I'll save you the trouble of not fucking barfing during an anime. But um because if I was any less emotionally desensitized than I was now after watching the original Berserk, Devil May Cry Baby, and a couple others, including Akira, which Akira is not like too fucked up, but it's just really graphic. If it wasn't for me watching those shows before this, I would have definitely barfed. Like it was really, really fucked up and really
Wow.
sickening. Yeah. And this is coming from a dude who like loves Infinite Annihilator and of course, for example, is interviewing bands who talk about nothing but, fuck God, God's a tyrant, and creation was a mistake.
Yeah.
um, like it was pretty
Creation
fucked
was a
up.
mistake.
Creation was a mistake. That should definitely be on a future
Yeah.
Nitheful shirt.
And there's also one single that I think is like on the God album is really gonna like fuck people up.
Mm,
It's called The Mother of Flesh. And
okay.
we did something. Okay, you ever heard of the album Everywhere at the End of Time?
No.
So basically it's like this dementia album where it makes you feel like you're getting
Oh.
dementia.
Oh wow.
And I listened to that and I was like, it'd be so crazy. Like, while everyone else was like just crying about it, my was like, what if I just like, added that in like a deathcore sample? And like basically when you hear it you're gonna hear how very like similar it sounds because it's like this 40s record that literally like it will play like it during the breakdown it will play worse and worse, and it's like Ave
Oh.
Maria but like the 40s record, and it just will play worse and worse as the breakdown gets slower and slower, like
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
oh yeah.
Dude,
And
I don't think the public is ready for this. This might have to be like a fucking not only an explicit advisory, but like, yo, warning. If you
oh, we're
watch
going to
this.
like the dudes for the music video. It's gonna be for like Oh my god, it's gonna be, but it's gonna be for the dudes who did the In Gloom music video for God the Animal.
Yo, I'm
So
ready for
this is
that.
gonna be. I don't think people are ready for it. Like,
I don't
because
think people are ready for it either.
the sound is fucked with the record, with the record just playing slower and slower while the breakdown's getting slower and slower,
Yeah.
and the
It's like, yeah, am
video
I
is just
having a
gonna make
fucking
it
stroke?
worse. Yeah. Oh, dude, it literally. I showed one dude, and he's just like, "I am never sleeping again." I'm like, yes.
That's good marketing right there, baby.
Yeah, and basically the song's about Virgin Mary's corpse being eaten by people in the bird. Funny enough, Christmas is here. It's about the Christmas story, but about Virgin Mary's corpse being eaten to get baby Jesus out.
Oh my god. No pun intended. Shit.
No.
Maybe too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, because I was just like, how do I make the Christmas? Because the Christmas story is fucked up, but I was like, I'm gonna make it more fucked up, and I did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might not be ready for that shit.
Oh no. Me and Nick's brain are beyond fucked in the
Well, I
best
mean,
possible way.
as long as y'all aren't out there killing people, like we're chilling.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm joking.
like, there you go. But ladies and gentlemen, all of my participants, the 264 subscribers currently linked up with Sean Cross as we continue our journey. It is currently 11:19 p.m. It has been an awesome session here with Derek. You said it was not Connolly, so is it Connolly?
Connolly, yes.
Connolly,
But
okay.
I'm cool with, Mr. Unholy Cannoli as well.
So we shared some pretty awesome conversation with good old Derek Connolly from Nitheful and Mr. Unholy Cannoli, both YouTube channels. The links will be provided down below. Thank you, sir, for your time tonight. And is there anything you want to plug or say before we go ahead and take off for the night?
Yes.
All right, there you have it, folks.
God's a pussy. There.
God's a pussy. There we go. Fuck yeah. Have a good night, man.
You too.
We'll do. Let's
All right.
see. As soon as oh